Good morrow, my fair subjects. This is your queen speaking to you. Welcome to Bakersfield College's production of Orlando. For the sake of your fellow peasants, please, right at this moment, retrieve from your coin purses any noise-making devices and silence them. The use of flash photography and recording of this performance is strictly in violation of my royal decree. Any of you breaking these laws will make me quite angry, and I promise you, you don't want to make me angry. In case of any emergencies, please return from whence you came through the exit doors. And now, my loving people, do sit down and enjoy Orlando.
We're lovers, maybe friends. Down, down, hey down, hey down. We love no more, and so it ends. Down. I have some weeks in which to steal my heart and teach myself to feel. Derry down, derry, 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 down, down. Only a sober tenderness. Down, down, hey down, hey down. Where once was passion's loveliness. Down. I had not thought that they would come. Your touch to make our music dumb. Derry down, derry, 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 down, down. Your meeting ting touch upon a string, down, hey down, that still was vibrant, still could sing, down. When I impatiently might wait, or parted from you at the gate, derry down, derry down, down. You took me weak and unprepared, down, hey down. I had not thought that you would share, down. My days, my nights, my heart, my life would slash me with the naked knife. Derry down, derry down, down.
The age was Elizabethan.
Their morals were not ours.
Not their poets, not their climate, nor the vegetables even.
Everything was different.
The rain fell vehemently, or not at all. The sun blazed, or there was darkness.
Violence was all.
And standing next to a large oak tree was a boy called
Orlando.
He! For there could be no doubt of his sex.
Though the fashion of the age did something to disguise it, was in the act of slicing on the head of an infidel. I do so long to chop the head off an infidel, but I am as yet only 16.
Sights exalted him, the birds and trees.
And made him in love with death. I love
He sighed profoundly.
And flung himself on the earth at the root of the oak tree.
and it is mine, image, follow, image.
The oak tree was the back of a great horse he was riding. Or
The deck of a tumbling ship.
It was anything indeed.
Or he felt the need of something he could attach his floating heart to. I will
Orlando thought,
write a great poem about the oak tree.
and he tried to describe, for all young poets are forever describing nature.
He wanted to match the shade of green precisely, the green of the grass, the green of the grass, the greeny green of the grass.
But green in nature is one thing, green in literature quite another.
When
A trumpet sounded!
Tomorrow, I will write a great poem about the oak tree tomorrow. Orlando saw that his great house in the valley was now pierced with lights.
Coaches turned and wheeled. Horses tossed their plumes.
and why did horses toss their plumes?
Christ Jesus!
The Queen had come!
Orlando dashed downhill.
He let himself in at a wicket gate. He tore up the winding staircase. He tripped.
He was a trifle clumsy.
He scoured his hands. He pared his fingernails with no more than 6 inches of looking glass and a pair of old candles to help him. He had thrust on crimson breeches, lace collars, and shoes with rosettes as big as double dahlias. He was ready. He was flushed.
He was excited.
But he was terribly late. He reached the banqueting hall just in time to sink upon his knee, hanging his head in confusion to offer a bowl of rose water to
The great Queen herself!
Such was Orlando's shyness that he saw no more of her than her ringed hand in water. But it was enough.
It was a venerable hand.
A thin hand with long fingers, always curling as if round orb or scepter.
A nervous, crabbed, sickly hand.
A commanding hand. A hand that had only 2 reins for a head to fall. Yes, the Queen had a hand.
Orlando guessed, attached to a body that smelled like a cupboard.
Come. The Queen studied Orlando. She read it like a page. Eyes, mouth, nose, hands, hips. By God, he has the shapeliest of legs of any nobleman in England.
You only felt something pressed against his hair.
He had been kissed by a queen without knowing it.
What is your name, dear boy? What is your name, dear boy?
Orlando.
Orlando. What a fine name. And what do you want to be when you grow up, Orlando?
I would very much like to be a poet, Your Highness.
Ah, romance, folly, poetry, youth. I bet you make a fine poet, Orlando. And I am looking for a gentleman just your age. How would you like to come to court, Orlando?
To court? That's a very great honor, Your Highness.
Yes. The queen plucked a ring from her finger. The joint was rather swollen. Orlando, with this ring, I hereby name you my treasurer and my steward.
Thank you, Mom.
And the queen took Orlando to court.
For the old woman loved Orlando.
Lands were given him. A great house assigned him.
He was to be the son of her old age.
And the flower bloomed and faded, and the sun rose and sank.
Will you stay with me always, Orlando?
Yes, Mom.
And the flower bloomed and faded, and the sun rose and sank.
Shall we play a game, Orlando?
Yes, Mom. What is the game?
First you recite a Petrarchan sonnet on my eyes, and then I challenge you to an ode upon my feet.
Yes, Mom.
And if it is very good, you may kiss me.
Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate.
That's enough, Orlando. I believe I've heard that one before. But it was very, very good. And you may kiss me. Oh, this
The queen breathed.
is my victory.
And the flower bloomed and faded, and the sun rose and sank.
What's wrong, Orlando?
Mom?
You don't seem yourself? Did you like the parakeets from the Azores?
Very much, Mom.
Perhaps you are bored. Maybe you do not play with boys your own age quite enough.
How could boys of my own age compare with the queen?
That's the spirit, Orlando.
The long winter months drew on.
Frost covered all the trees.
In the air was a perfect stillness.
One day,
The queen was getting dressed.
Your stockings, Mom? Your farthingale, Mom.
which was tightened and fastened,
Not too tight.
so that the queen floated as if upon her own island.
She was powdering her face.
She was practicing a speech.
My loving people, though I have a body but a weak and feeble woman, I have the heart and stomach of a king, and of a king of England too.
When all of a sudden,
She saw in her mirror
Which she kept for fear of spies.
a boy
could it be Orlando?
kissing a girl. Who in the devil's name is this brazen hussy? Snatching at her golden sword, she struck violently at her mirror.
Crack! Crack! People came running. She was lifted and set in her chair again. But she was stricken after that and groaned for many years.
Man's treachery.
It was Orlando's fault, perhaps.
be to blame, Orlando. He was young, he was boyish. He did as nature bade him do.
It is certain indeed that many ladies were ready to show him their favors. Fabulous grace in dancing had won the admiration of all.
The second, Euphrosyne, was by far the most serious of Orlando's flames.
And the third, Clorinda, could not bear the sight of blood, and the smell of roast meat made her faint. She took it upon herself to reform Orlando.
Orlando did not much regret it when Clorinda died soon after of the smallpox.
Once, however, Fabula was so ill-advised as to whip a spaniel that it tore one of her silk stockings beneath Orlando's window.
I love animals.
Oh,
Orlando now realized that her teeth were crooked, which is a sure sign of a cruel and perverse disposition in a woman.
I'm sorry, but I'm forced to call off our engagement. Forever.
Euphrosyne sang Italian well, and she was never seen with that spaniel. She would feed them wet bread from her very own plate. Come here, my darling. Euphrosyne would have made a perfect wife for a nobleman such as Orlando.
I will have my lawyers draw up the settlements, darling.
Orlando kissed Euphrosyne on her serious white cheek.
when, with suddenness and severity came,
The Great Frost!
Birds froze in midair and fell like stones to the ground.
It was no uncommon sight to come upon. A whole herd swine frozen, a movable upon the road.
The fields were full of shepherds, all struck stark in the act of the moment. One with the hand to his nose, another with the bottle to his lips, and a third with a stone raised to throw at a raven who sat as if stuffed upon the hedge.
But while the country people suffered, London enjoyed a carnival of the utmost brilliancy. Rows and rows of summer showers while the queen and her courtiers walked abroad. Colored balloons hovered motionless in the air. Lovers dallied upon divans. The ice was so deep and so clear that there could be seen congealed at a depth of a few thousand feet. Here a porpoise and there a flounder.
Orlando was gazing at her frozen flounder 5 fathoms beneath the frozen sea.
When a figure skated by him,
Orlando, upon seeing the figure, shouted in his own mind.
Melon.
Pineapple.
Olive tree.
Emerald.
Fox in the snow.
All in the space of 3 seconds. He did not know whether he had heard her, tasted her, seen her, or all three together.
Then the boy skated by. For alas, Orlando, a boy it must be.
Legs, hands, and carriage were boys. No woman could skate with such speed and vigor.
Orlando was ready to tear his hair with vexation that this fine person was of his own sex.
Are all embraces out of the question?
But no boy ever had a mouth like that.
No boy had those breasts. No boy had eyes that looked as if they'd been fished from the bottom of the sea.
The unknown skater came to a standstill.
She was a woman!
Здравствуй! Я принцесса Marusha Stanislavska Dagmar Natasha Ilyana Romanovich. A translation. Hello. I am the Princess Marusha Stanislavska Dagmar Natasha Ilyana Romanovich.
Orlando trembled, turned hot, turned cold, longed to crush acorns beneath his feet.
Will you come to dinner?
Parlez-vous français?
Oui.
Whom had he loved? What had he loved until now? An old woman, all skin and bones, a nodding mass of lace and ceremony. Watching the princess, the thickness of his blood melted. The ice turned to wine in his veins. His manhood woke. He grabbed his sword. He charged! Ah!
Pensez la scène, s'il vous plaît.
A translation. Would you have the goodness to pass the salt, please?
Avez-tu la place de l'élément, mademoiselle?
A translation. With all the pleasure in the world, madam.
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi?
A translation.
Who are these pumpkins?
Did you always call her like that?
Is the figure with their hair like a maypole really the queen?
Thus began an intimacy between the two. That became a scandal of the court.
And one night, Orlando had thrown off his boyish clumsiness and become a nobleman.
Everywhere one went, one saw Orlando handing Sasha, the Russian princess, to her sledge.
Your sledge, madam.
Or catching the spotted kerchief, which she had let drop.
Your handkerchief.
Everyone knew that Orlando was engaged to another. Me! I wear a sapphire on my right hand. Yet Euphrosyne might drop all the handkerchiefs in her wardrobe upon the ice, and Orlando never stooped to pick them up. Orlando? Orlando? My handkerchief. Orlando? Orlando?
But what most outraged the court was that the couple was often seen to slip under the silken rope which closed off the royal enclosure from the common people.
Take me away. I detest your English court. It's full of prying old women. They smell bad. It's like a queen in a cage. In Russia, we have rivers miles broad on which one can gallop all day without meeting a soul. I want to leave the court. You fancy seeing London? I don't know. What is in this London?
The beefeaters, the tower, the jeweler shops, the theaters.
Yes, I would like to see your London.
And so they skated to London on the frozen Thames. They got further and further away from court.
Hot with skating,
And with love,
they would throw themselves down onto a solitary place.
wrapped in a great fur cloak.
Orlando would take her in his arms and know,
For the first time,
the delights of love.
and they would speak of everything under the sun.
For instance,
This man's beard, that woman's skin, and that's the feather from my hand. The face,
Better,
nothing was too small for such talk.
nothing was too great. Sometimes Orlando would be melancholy.
All ends in death.
I do not like Orlando to be melancholy, so I speak to him enchantingly, wittily, wisely, but always in French, which I'm afraid loses its flavor in translation.
Darling, you are an olive tree. An emerald, darling, you are
he tried to tell her what she was like, but words failed him. He wanted another landscape and another tongue. English was too frank for describing Sasha. And all that the princess said, there was something hidden.
What did she hide from him? One day we will live in Russia together, where there are frozen rivers and wild horses and men who gash each other's throats.
yes, my love.
But habits of lust and slaughter did not entice him.
Keep
embassy.
Greetings, countrymen.
Иди сюда, сейчас.
Wait for me, my love. I'll only be a moment. I just want to say hello to my countrymen. Don't be long, darling.
So, Orlando waited. He walked up and down the ice.
He thought only of the pleasures of life.
The sun was sinking rapidly.
Sasha has been gone an hour.
Orlando was seized with dark forebodings. He could wait no longer.
So he dashed onto the ship.
Orlando blazed into such a howl of anguish
No!
that the whole ship echoed.
Orlando, dear, are you all right? What is the matter? You must have been dreaming. You must have been faint.
You bent towards that sailor. You kissed him.
The room was dark. Shadows must have moved. There was a heavy box. I helped one of my countrymen to move it.
You did?
Yes.
It was very dark.
Yes, it was very, very dark.
Yes. Kiss me and forgive me my folly. No! I saw him! You kissed him! You did it!
I call upon the gods to destroy me if I, a royal Romanovich, laid in the arms of a common seaman. I will leave this very night.
Orlando looked at the sailor.
The man was huge. For common wire rings in his ears, it looked like a horse upon which a robin had perished in its flight.
Well,
Don't leave me, Sasha. If I were jealous, it's because I love you.
I forgive you this once, but you must never doubt me again, Orlando.
And so, they skated again towards London, arm in arm. Suspicion melted in his breast. He felt as if he had been hooked by a great fish through the nose and rushed through the waters unwillingly, yet without consent.
It was an evening of astonishing beauty. Domed spires, turrets, and pinnacles of London rose in blackness against furious clouds.
They sped quicker and quicker to the city.
I used to listen to the wolves howling in Russia in the winter. They sounded like this.
And so he swung across the river so that the bulls swung too.
Orlando, I feel compelled to tell you, I love you for your love of beasts, and for your gallantry, and for your legs.
I can find no words to praise you, Sasha.
You are like a million-candle Christmas tree, such as we have in Russia, enough to light a whole street by.
And indeed, he looked as if he were burning with his own radiance from a lamp lit within.
Night came on, and the royal couple found themselves amidst the common people.
A carnival! All the riffraff of London was there.
Here, throwing dice.
There telling fortunes.
Shoving.
Tickling, pinching.
All pressing forward toward the stage.
Shall we stop and look, Sasha?
Yes, please, let's watch. We haven't such things in Russia.
You don't mind sitting so close to commoners?
Oh no, they smell much better than your queen.
That handkerchief which I so loving gave you, thou gavest to Cassio.
No, by my life and soul. Send for the man and ask him.
Sweet soul, take heed of perjury. Thou art on thy deathbed.
I but not yet to die.
Yes, presently. Therefore confess thee freely of thy sin. For to deny each article with oath cannot remove nor choke the strong conception that I do grown with all. Thou art to die.
Then Lord have mercy on me.
I say amen.
The melody of the words stirred Orlando like music.
And have you mercy too. I never did offend you in my life, never loved Cassio. And with such general warranty of heaven as I might love, I never gave him token.
By heaven, I saw the handkerchief in his hand. O perjured woman, thou hast stoned my heart and makest me call what I intend to do a murder, which I thought a sacrifice. I saw the handkerchief.
He found it then. I never gave it to him. Send from him and let him confess the truth.
have confessed
What, my lord?
that he had used thee.
How? Unlawfully?
Aye,
He will not say so.
no. His mouth is stopped.
Oh, my fear interprets what? Is he dead?
Have all his lives been pears. I great revenge had stomach for them all.
Alas, he's betrayed and I am done.
Ouch, trumpet! Weep not for him to my face!
Oh, banish me, my lord, but kill me not. Kill me tomorrow. Let me live tonight.
Nay, if you strive,
Half an hour.
being done, there is no pause.
Will I say one prayer?
It is too late.
Tears streamed down Orlando's face. The frenzy of the Moor seemed to him his own frenzy. It was Sasha he had killed with his own 2 hands. Ruin and death, Orlando thought. Cover all.
Later, do you remember? It was on a night such as this, cold and dark.
We plan to escape. To leave court.
To be alone.
The time has come. Short de ma vie.
It was their signal.
Meet me at Blackfriars, at the inn at midnight. Horses will be waiting for us.
Blackfriars. Long before midnight, Orlando was waiting. He took things, money, food, wine, comfits.
Sasha! Where is Sasha?
Sometimes, in the darkness, he seemed to see her, wrapped about with rage strokes. Still, she did not come.
Suddenly he was struck in the face by a blow, soft yet heavy on his cheek.
Who's there?
He put his hand to his sword. The frost had lasted so long that it took him a minute to realize these were raindrops falling.
Soon the 6 drops became 60, then 600.
Sasha!
The water rose. Ice cracked off the trees.
Sasha!
He would wait. He would wait.
Suddenly, with an ominous voice, St. Paul struck the first stroke of midnight.
Dun,
Sasha!
dun,
She will come on the 6th stroke.
dun,
She will come on the 6th
dun.
stroke. She will come on the 6th stroke.
The whole world seemed to ring with news of her deceit. Through the rain, you could just make out the shape of a ship on a horizon, moving through icebergs.
The ship of the Russian embassy. Sasha! Sasha!
Sasha!
Sasha!
Sasha!
Sasha!
And then, silence. The waters took his words and tossed on his feet only a broken pot and a bit of straw.
The 17th century. dawn broke with unusual suddenness. And a sight of the most extraordinary nature met Orlando's eyes.
What had once been solid ice was now a race of turbulent yellow water.
All was riot and confusion. The river was strewn with icebergs.
What was most terrible was the sight of the human creatures trapped on the ice.
Some cried out and made wild promises to God. Some were dazed in terror and looked steadfastly before them. Others called out for vengeance.
Vengeance upon the dirty Irish rebels!
Some perished, clasping silver teapot or other treasure close to their breast.
My teapot! My teapot!
Among other strange sights to be seen was a table laid sumptuously for 20 upon an iceberg.
Or a couple in bed with an odd number of cooking utensils.
Orlando gazed, astounded.
But, seeming to recollect himself, he galloped hard along the river bank until he reached his great house in the country.
Orlando now took a strange delight in thoughts of death and decay.
Are we so made that we have to take death in small doses daily, or we cannot go on with the business of living? I am done with women.
He stood, shaken with sobs, all for the desire of a woman in Russian trousers.
Faithless, fickle, adulterous, devil, wench! I must do something. I must do something. I must write.
Orlando would have given every penny to write one little book and become famous, but all the gold and brew could not buy him the treasure of one well-turned line.
Fame is like a braided coat which hampers the limbs. A jacket of silver which curbs the heart. Confound it all! Why not simply just say what one means?
One day, he was adding a line or two with enormous labor to The Oak Tree, a poem.
The grass is green. The sky is blue.
When a shadow crossed the edge of his paper.
There was no shadow, but a very tall lady in riding hood and mantle.
Forgive my intrusion.
Just opened over to tea and hi there. Orlando thought she must have escaped from a lunatic society.
I am the Archduchess Harriet Griselda, Finster, Airhorn, Scandrop, Boom in the Romanian territory, and I desire above all things else to make your acquaintance. I saw a portrait of you long ago next to a sister of mine who was long since dead. I'm visiting the English court, the Queen of Iron being the cousin.
I see.
Well, those good manners require you to ask me in and offer me a glass of wine.
Certainly, this way.
Everything they say is true. You don't have the shapeliest legs any nobleman ever saw on.
Thank you.
Oh, my, your ankle buckle is undone. Shall I clasp it for you? I must.
If you must.
Whoa.
Orlando was violently overcome by a passion of some sort.
Oh! Excuse me. Oh, what sort of passion is this? It's unaccountable.
When the Archduchess stooped down to fasten his buckle, Orlando heard.
Far off the beating of love's wings, Orlando was ready to let the bird of beauty alight upon his shoulders when...
Horror! Orlando!
A vulture landed on Orlando's shoulder.
Orlando! I'm waiting.
Just a moment. Oh, God.
For love has two faces and two bodies, one smooth, the other hairy.
For you see, it was not love, the bird of paradise, that landed on his shoulder, but lust, the vulture.
What's the matter, my innocent? You seem flushed. Has something excited you?
Shoot. No, I'm quite alright, thank you.
Oh, your stockings have a little hole in them. Shall I mend them for you?
And the Archduchess called him the very next day.
Orlando.
And the next.
Orlando.
And the next.
Orlando!
Orlando now realized that his home was uninhabitable.
So Orlando did what any other young man would have done in his place. He asked the king.
My lord, please send me to Constantinople.
Constantinople!
In Constantinople, Orlando possessed
power to stir the fancy and rivet the eye. This power is a mysterious one, composed of beauty, birth, and some rare gift, which we may call
Glamour!
and it became the adored of many women.
And some men.
Could someone massage my temples?
And yet, this romantic power, it is well known, is often associated with the nature of extreme shyness, where Orlando seems to have made no friends.
So one night, he threw a terrific party.
We have here a letter from one as Penelope of Bartram, who attended the party addressed to her cousin in England.
It was ravishing, utterly beyond description. Birds in golden cages, swans made to represent water lilies, and Orlando. To see him come into the room, to see him go out again. Mr. Peregrine said I looked quite lovely, which I only repeat to you, my darling, because I know you would want to know.
We also have the testimony of Washington,
Who was kept awake by a headache?
a report that
I saw a woman of the peasant class drawn up by a rope to Orlando's balcony. A Spanish dancer, I believe, by the name of Rosina Papita. They embraced passionately, you see, like lovers. It wasn't until they entered Orlando's bedroom, closed the blinds so that no more could be seen.
we only mention this event, quite trivial in the long history of Orlando's many affairs, because the next morning, an extraordinary and somewhat inexplicable event occurred. The next morning, though dogs were set to bark under his window, still, Orlando did not wake.
Morning and evening, they tried to wake him, but still, Orlando slept.
On the sixth day of Orlando's trance, the Turks rose against the Sultan, set fire to the town, and put foreigners to death.
Gentlemen of the British Embassy, the purchase swallowed bunches of keys rather than fall in the hands of the infidel.
Still, Orlando slept.
On the seventh day, he awoke. He stood before us in complete nakedness, while trumpets pealed out
Truth! Truth! Truth!
We have no choice but to confess, he was a woman. No human being since the world began has ever looked more ravishing. His form combined, one, the strength of a man, and a woman's grace. And here we pause. Orlando had become a woman. There is no denying it. But, in every other respect, Orlando remained precisely as he had been.
Many people hold that such a change of sex is against nature, and have been at pains to prove that first, Orlando had always been a woman, and second, that Orlando at this moment is a man.
Let biologists and psychologists determine. It is enough to state the simple fact.
Orlando was a man till the age of 30.
when he became a woman and has remained so ever since.
I want to go home to England.
Orlando now bought herself a complete outfit of such clothes as women then wore, and it was in such a dress that she now stood on the deck of a ship heading toward England. It was a strange fact, but a true one, that up until this moment, Orlando had scarcely given her sex a thought. It wasn't until she felt the coils of skirts about the legs and the captain offered.
Make it a chef, madam.
Yes, please.
At that moment, she realized the scope, penalties and privileges of her position.
This is a lazy, pleasant way of life for sure. But could I leap overboard and swim in these clothes? No.
Dinner.
Yes, please.
Let me cut you a slice, man. Just the tiniest little sliver, the size of your fingernail.
Delicious tremor ran through Orlando's frame.
Madam.
Well, if you insist, I will have the very sliver of corned beef in the world.
Very good, ma'am.
Nothing is more heavenly than to resist and to yield and to resist.
She was like a child entering into a toy cupboard. Her arguments would not commend themselves to mature women.
More sauce, madam.
How odd. When I was a young man, I insisted that women be obedient, chaste, and sensitive. Now I would have to pay my own person for those desires, for women are not.
Judging by a short experience with the sex.
Obedient, chaste, and sensitive by nature. They can only attain these graces by tedious discipline. The hairdressing, that alone will take at least an hour of my morning. There's looking in the looking glass. There's being chased year in and year out. Christ Jesus! I say for a sword, I will never be able to crack a man over the head, or draw my sword and run him through the body, or lead in the army. All I can do now is pour out tea and ask my wife if they like it.
Do you take sugar? Do you take cream? And here she seemed to criticize both sexes equally, as if she belonged to neither.
She was a man. She was a woman. She knew the secrets and shared the weaknesses of each. Oh. At last I know Sasha as she really was. Now a thousand mysteries became plain to her.
Her affection gained in beauty what it lost in falsity.
Sasha, on legs like beech trees, great clustered pearl hung. Which is the greater ecstasy, the man's or the woman's? Don't go. I have much to tell you, and much to ask.
Oh, if I may, madam, draw your attention. On the horizon, gleaming. The cliffs of England, madam.
Christ Jesus!
The sight of her native land after a long excused absence excused her strong language.
Ladies in flowered silk walked on footpaths. Citizens of embroidered coats took snuff.
There, you will see the Houses of Parliament.
There had been the great carnival.
The Tower of London.
There, she had first met Sasha. About here, she had seen the frozen dolphins. All was changed.
Ah, on the right. Westminster Abbey.
How to tell the captain how she, who now trembled on his arm, had once been a duke, an ambassador, had hacked heads off, had lain with loose women.
Ah, finally. The dome of St. Paul's Cathedral.
Do what you would to restrain her. The tears came to Orlando's eyes, until, remembering that it is becoming in a woman to weep, she let them flow.
Dear old London. Will you need an escort now?
No, thank you.
And, without anyone's assistance, she set foot upon her native shore.
It was a fine evening in December when Orlando arrived home.
Home, my lord, my lady, my lord, my lady.
Orlando comforted her maid with a hearty kiss upon both cheeks.
The toast, my lady.
Thank you. If my lord is a lady now, I've never seen a lovelier one.
I've always had my suspicions. And what with the towels needing mending in time, we had a mistress.
No sooner had Orlando opened her mail than she discovered that she was now a victim to two major lawsuits.
One, that you are dead and cannot hold any property whatsoever.
2, that you are a woman, which amounts to the same thing.
Christ Jesus!
So, while the old servants gossiped, Orlando took the silver candle in her hand and roamed once more through the halls, the galleries, the courts, the bedrooms. In this window, she had written her first verses. In that chapel, she would be buried. She, who believed in no immortality, could not help but feel that her soul would come and go forever, with the reds on the panels and the greens in the sofa. The house no longer belonged to her. It belonged to time now.
I am growing up.
She thought.
I am losing some illusions, perhaps to acquire others.
The next morning, with fresh pen and paper, Orlando started again upon her long poem, The Oak Tree.
Then I came to a field.
When suddenly, a familiar shadow,
A grotesque shadow.
a shadow of no less than,
The Archduchess Harry Griselda of Skanderboom in Romania appeared.
I fled all the way to Constantinople to avoid that fatal foul. Oh, a plague on women! They never leave on a moment's peace.
a heap of clothes lay on the ground. In place of the Archduchess stood,
A tall gentleman in black.
Orlando was alone with
A man!
Recalled thus suddenly to the consciousness of her sex, Orlando felt seized with faintness.
Gentle creature, forgive me for the deceit that I practiced on you.
Indeed, it was very cruel of you to deceive me.
In short, they acted the parts of man and woman for 10 minutes with great vigor. And then the two fell into natural discourse.
Dearest lady, my story is tragic. I'm a man, and have indeed always been. I saw a portrait of you long ago, at a time when you were dressed in the stockings of a man, and I fell hopelessly in love with you. Aww. I knew no way of winning you but to dress as a woman. Oh. I was desolate and ruined when you fled to Constantinople. For to me, you were, and always will be, the pink, the pearl, the protection of your sex.
If this is love, there was something highly ridiculous about it.
Listen! I have more land in Romania than any nobleman in England. The shooting is excellent indeed. The pheasants have suffered from poultry disease in my peasants? The pheasants. But that can be put right, and all will be well, my dear. If only we lived in Romania together.
As he spoke, tears ran down the sandy tracks of his cheeks. Orlando was beginning to be aware that women should be shocked when men display emotion in their presence. And so, shocked she was.
How dare you cry in my presence?
I cannot help but feel moved to tears in the presence of your great beauty. I'll leave you now, but I will return tomorrow for your answer to my proposition.
That was a Tuesday.
He came on Wednesday.
He came on Thursday. And he came on Friday.
Boys,
Each meeting began, continued, or concluded with a declaration of love.
I love you.
Thank you.
But in between, there was much room for silence.
I shot an elk in Sweden.
was it a very big elk?
Well, it was not as big as the reindeer I shot in Norway.
Have you ever shot a tiger?
I shot an albatross.
Is an albatross as big as an elk?
I adore you.
Would you like a cup of tea?
Yes, please.
One love or two?
One, please. My darling.
Oh, I know a game. You see that fly I was about? sugar rather than yours.
Oh, that's a delightful game. My darling, I bet you 500 pounds.
I won! 500 pounds, please.
What's the good of being a fine young woman in the prime of life if I have to spend all my mornings watching flies with an archduke? There must be some way out of this difficulty.
But she was still awkward in the arts of her sex, and she could no longer knock a man over the head.
Orlando thought of a plan.
Oh dear. I do believe my plants are dying.
While the Archduke gazed at her plants, she gently pressed the life out of a fly.
I'm sorry, little fly. Oh, they're quite dead.
Her reckoning was that the Archduke would detect the fraud, and, as cheating is a heinous crime, he would refuse to have anything further to do with her.
Lou, I want to get while you are looking, see?
So, you have, my pretty. I didn't even hear a fly buzzing about.
A dead fly looked at him much the same as a living. She played the trick over 20 times, and he paid her over 20,000 pounds. Finally, the Archduke could be deceived no longer.
That fly is dead! You killed that fly and you pasted it onto your sugar loaf, didn't you? Did you?
Yes.
That you won my fortune is nothing. You are welcome to it. It's only that you deceived me. It hurts me to think you're capable of. To love a woman who cheats at play is, I'm afraid, impossible. And yet, you are, after all, only a woman. Allowances must be made. Perhaps I can forgive you out of the wildness of my passion.
Orlando feared such a speech, and after concealing a toad in her blouse all morning, she dropped the toad down the shirt of the Archduke.
Archduke slammed the door.
Heaven be praised! I am alone.
'Twas struck midnight, the darkness was complete. All was darkness, all was doubt, all was confusion. The 18th century was over. The 19th century had arrived.
Rain fell frequently, but only in fitful gusts. But what was worse, damp now crept into every house.
And so rugs appeared, beards were grown.
Everything was covered, nothing was left bare. The muffin was invented, and the crumpet.
Coffee led to a drawing room in which to drink it, and a drawing room to glass cases,
And glass cases to artificial flowers.
And artificial flowers to mantelpieces.
And mantelpieces to pianoforte.
and skipping a stage or two to innumerable little dogs, mats, and china ornaments, the home was completely altered.
Meanwhile, the spirit of the age blew, now hot, now cold on Orlando's cheeks. That is to say, the blushes
more modest of her brains, and a little more vain of her person.
The change of clothes had much to do with it. Vain trifles as they seem, clothes change our view of the world and the world's view of us. In fact, there's much support the view that is the clothes that wear us and not the other way around.
Orlando suddenly became conscious of an extraordinary tinkling and vibration. Her arms sang and twanged, her hair seemed to wrap themselves. All this agitation seemed at length to concentrate into her hand, and then one hand, and then finally it made a ring of quivering sensibility upon the second finger of her left hand. But when Orlando had raised her hand to see what had caused this agitation, she saw nothing.
Vibration seemed, in the oddest way, to say, no, that
Why?
is not enough.
A lover?
And the spirit of the angel replied, no, Orlando, life, a husband.
Until Orlando felt positively ashamed of the second finger of her left hand, without in the least knowing why.
Let me see your hands, Grimstitch. Let me see your feet for a moment, Grimstitch. I'll just pull them out.
No! Your ladyship may look, if you please, but as for taking off my wedding ring, neither the Pope nor Queen Victoria could force me to. Ever since my Thomas put this ring on my finger, 25 years, 6 months, 3 weeks ago, and that's an exact figure, your ladyship. I've slept in it, worked in it, washed in it, and prayed in it. Since by the gleam on this earring, I'll be assigned my station among the angels. And it's a must that will be tarnished now and forever if I let it out my keeping even for a wee bit.
I'm sorry, Grimstitch. I didn't realize. What a world we live in. What a world, to be sure.
It now seemed to Orlando that the whole world was ringed in gold. She went to dinner, wedding rings abounded. She went to church, wedding rings everywhere. Orlando could only suppose that some new discovery had been made about the rings, that they were all stuck together, couple after couple. It was strange. Indeed, it was distasteful.
And yet, the tingling on Orlando's left finger persisted more violently than ever.
Stop tickling! I will write. I will write.
She picked up her manuscript, the oak tree.
She dipped her pen in ink
and felt the breath of the queen on her cheek.
and wrote the most insipid line she had ever written in her life.
Oh dear.
She had no choice but to submit to the spirit of the age and take a husband. Whom? She asked with a wild autumn wind, looking the very image of appealing womanhood as she did so.
Whom can I lean upon?
It was not Orlando who spoke, but the spirit of the age.
I am mateless. I am alone.
Orlando walked up the moor, over the hill. She picked up a feather and stuck it in her hat. She had a wild notion of following the bird swarm of the world.
She ran. A strange ecstasy came over her.
I think my ankle is broken. And yet I'm content. I have found my mate. I am nature's bride. My hands shall wear no wedding ring. The roots shall twine about my fingers. I have sought fame through many ages and missed it. Love and not known it. I have known many men and many women. None whom I have understood. Perhaps it is better that I lie in peace with thy sky above me.
Orlando heard deep within the sound of a hammer, or was it a heartbeat? Tick-tock, so it
Bonthrop Shelmerdine, Esquire.
Marmaduke Bonthrop Shelmerdine Esquire. I knew it.
There was something romantic, chivalrous, passionate, yet determined about him.
My name is Orlando.
Orlando! I knew it! For if one sees a ship in full sail proudly sweeping across the Mediterranean from the South Seas, one says at once, Orlando.
You see, though their acquaintance had been short, they guessed, as always happens between lovers, anything of any importance in 2 seconds at the utmost. It remained only now to fill in such unimportant details as what they were called,
Where they lived.
whether or not they were beggars.
You're not a beggar, are you, Shell?
I once had a castle, but it was ruined, so I became a
Sailor.
Yes! How did you know?
I guessed it. And the winds. They went the wrong way suddenly.
Yes! Yes, the winds went violently the wrong way, so I stopped for the night. Yes! And I'm going to leave for the South Seas tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Shell, don't leave me. I'm in love with you.
No sooner had the words left her mouth than an awful suspicion rushed into both their minds at once.
You're a woman, Shell. You think I'm a man? Oh no, I'm very much a woman.
And you, for a moment, thought I was a woman. How ridiculous. You're so entirely sympathetic. And you never take more than 10 minutes to dress. How can it be?
And you have a passion for peppermints.
And you blush so easily.
How can it be?
And so they talked for 2 hours or more, perhaps about the sea, perhaps not about the sea. And really, it would profit little to record what they said, for they knew each other so well that they could talk about anything, which is tantamount to saying nothing.
I once was sailing in the South Seas and was caught in a terrific gale. Masts were snapped off, sails torn to ribbons.
Christ Jesus, how exciting! Then what?
The ship sank, and I was left the only survivor on a raft holding a biscuit.
And?
I ate the biscuit. That's about all a fellow can do nowadays.
Are you positive you're not a woman?
And so they must put it to the proof without more ado.
When it was over, Orlando had tears in her eyes.
Tears of a finer flavor than any she had cried before.
Thank you, Shell, for this rare and unexpected delight.
You're welcome, Orlando.
For each was so surprised at the quickness of each other's sympathy, and it was to each such a revelation that
A woman could be as tolerant and free-spoken as a man.
And a man can be as strange and as subtle as a woman.
So they would talk and talk. How to cook an omelet.
Where to buy the best boots in London.
Yes.
Yes.
And when Orlando's feet were covered with spotted autumn leaves,
Bonthrop,
she would say,
I'm off.
when she called him by his second name,
Bonthrop.
it should signify that she was in a solitary mood, felt them both as specks on a desert.
for people died daily, died at dinner tables, died out of doors in the autumn leaves. And so, saying Bonthrop,
She said, in effect,
I am dead.
after some hours death, usually a bird would shriek,
Shelmerdine,
she would come to life again.
as if returning from a ship that had heaved and tossed, and finally rides at the crest of a wave.
Shelmerdine.
What is it, Orlando?
Nothing. It's past. I'm alive, darling Shell.
Until one day, they got married.
Bells people were summoned.
The rain poured down on them.
They reached the chapel. Light flew through the painted windows.
Marmaduke Bontrop shall redeem, and Lady Orlando kneel down.
All was confusion. There, now a bird dashed against a pane. Now there, a clap of thunder.
So that no one could obey.
Or saw the rings pass from hand to hand.
The words went dashing and circling like wild hawks among the towers. Faster and faster they circled until they crashed into fragments and fell in a shower to the ground.
The 20th century had arrived.
Look at that! A carriage without any horses, indeed! It's an odd sort of weapon nowadays.
The sky itself had changed. The sky seemed made of metal. The clouds had shrunk to a thin gauze. It's hard to cry now. Vegetables were less fertile, families much smaller.
Everything, in fact, seemed to have shrunk. It was more than a little alarming.
And look at that! Hundreds of little rooms precisely look the same as the other. There seems to be no privacy. One can see everything in the little square-shaped boxes. There seems to be none of those lingering shadows that there used to be. None of those women in old aprons carrying wobbly lamps. At a touch, the whole room is bright. And the sky is bright all night long.
The clock ticked louder and louder until there was a terrific explosion in Orlando's ear.
Orlando leapt as if she had been violently struck over the head. At that time she was struck. In fact, it was 10 o'clock in the morning. That was the present moment.
No one need wonder that Orlando pressed her hands to her heart and turned pale.
For what more terrifying revelation can there be than that it is the present moment? The only reason we survive the shock at all is because the past shelters us on one side and the future on the other.
But we have no time now for such revelation.
Orlando was terribly late.
She jumped into her motor car.
Vast blue blocks of buildings rose into the air. She noticed sponges, bird cages, boxes of green American cloth. Here was a market. Here was a funeral. Meat was very red.
But Orlando did not allow these sights to sink in even a fraction of an inch.
Why don't you look where you're going?
The streets were immensely crowded. People buzzed and hummed everywhere, as if they were bees.
Why do you look where you're going?
Orlando hopped out of her motor car, rushed into a large department store, and got into a lift.
This must be middle age. For time has passed over me. 6. How strange it is. Nothing is any longer one thing. I take up a handbag and I see a porpoise frozen beneath the sea. Someone lights a pink candle and I see a girl in Russian trousers. 7. I hear goat bells. I see mountains. But where? Turkey, India, Persia? I can't think. Legs! I need sheets for a double bed.
Yes, ma'am.
Scarcely look a day older. I look just as rosy as I did that day on the ice, when the Thames were frozen, and we had gone skating.
You are like a million candle Christmas trees, such as we have in Russia.
Sasha!
Enough to light a whole street fire.
Is it really you, Sasha?
Figure walked through swinging doors, a whiff of scent as though from pink candles trailing a figure.
Was it a boy's figure? Was it a girl's?
Young, slender, seductive.
Girl, by God. Fur. Girls in Russian trousers. Faithless. Faithless. Sasha, why?
The best Irish linens, ma'am. Any napkins, towels, or dusters today, ma'am?
There's one thing I want in the world today, and that is bath salts.
You'll want to take the lift to the first floor, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Your bed sheets, ma'am.
And can we blame her for forgetting her bed sheets when she was actually hundreds of years old? For the true length of a person's life is always a matter of dispute. For some, we can justly say live precisely the 68 years allotted to them on the tombstone. For others, we can say live hundreds of years, though we call them 36.
Love you, week. Confound it all, I've forgotten the bed sheets. No matter. I want more than anything to go home.
Without her bed sheets or her bath salts, Orlando hopped back into her motor car.
Nothing could be seen whole or red from start to finish. She saw.
Cadbury chocolate. Raw against unkempt.
And it flashed by, unread.
What one saw beginning
Like two friends starting to meet each other across the street.
was never seen ending.
After 10 minutes, the body and mind were both like scraps of torn paper tumbling from a sack.
She motored out of London so entirely disassembled that it is an open question as to whether she even existed at all.
She walked into her house and called,
Orlando! Come here! I grow sick to death of this particular self. I want another! Orlando!
For she had great variety of selves to call upon.
The boy who sat under the oak tree.
the young man who fell in love with Sasha,
The boy who handed the queen a bowl of rose water.
The poet, the fine lady,
The woman who called upon Mar or Chamartin or Bonfrost.
Orlando!
haunted ever since I was a child, flinging a net of words over the wild goose of meaning, and then everything just shrivels.
Orlando?
Still, the Orlando they wanted did not come.
All right then.
Who then am I? 36, owns a motor car, a woman, a man, Yes, but a million other things as well. Am I a snob? Am I proud of my ancestors? I don't give a damn if I am. Am I truthful? I think so. Generous? That doesn't count. Spoiled? Yes. Clumsy? Absolutely. I love trees and barns and the night for people I don't know. Chattering, spiteful, always telling lies, and yet love. What of it? Flies on the ceiling. Sasha. Marmaduke.
The great wings of silence beat up and down the empty house. All was lit, as if for the coming of a dead queen.
The house is at your service. Nothing has been changed.
What's the matter, Orlando?
What's the matter?
You don't seem yourself.
I'm not sure that there is such a thing, Your Highness.
You are many things to many people. To me, you are a boy. With delightful legs and silk stockings. Perhaps you have changed. No matter. The dead have wonderful memories.
I would like, Your Highness, at the present moment to feel as though I am one thing.
Poppycock! Don't be a bore, Orlando. You were never a bore in silk stockings.
What is that like, Your Highness?
That? Nothing, really. Just a prick in the sides. My sinuses are unbelievably clear. All is air.
I long for that. At times.
You were always morbid, Orlando. And yet when I knew you, you were filled with life. Exquisitely, you were bursting with it.
I remember.
Perhaps it's the spirit of the age.
Perhaps. We don't know why we go upstairs or why we come back down again. Our most daily movements are like the passage of a ship on an unknown sea.
Look! There is the wild goose.
Where?
Just there.
The wild goose of meaning. And the secret to life is.
A kiss. For old time's sake.
Orlando banished these thoughts. With a start, she remembered that she was married.
She was married, true. But if one's husband was always sailing around the world, was it marriage?
And if one liked him, was it marriage? If one liked other people, was it marriage?
And finally, most importantly, if one still wished more than anything in the world to write poetry, was it marriage?
She had her doubts.
But she would put them to the test.
She flung herself at the great oak tree. She took up her poem.
Sea stain, blood stain, travel stain.
She had been working on it for close to 500 years now.
She looked at the ring. She looked at the ink pot.
Did she dare?
Hang it all. Here goes.
So, she plunged her pen neck-deep in ink. To her enormous surprise, she wrote. The words were a little late in coming, but come they did. And all the while she wrote, the world continued. Through wars and other calamities, she listened to the sound of gunfire at sea. No, only the wind blew. There is no war today.
And so she wrote.
What's life? She asked a bird. Life, 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 cried the bird.
On a summer's day when the waves were rippled by the softest, gentlest breeze, did a ship set sail with a cargo laden for a port beyond the seas. There were sweet farewells, there were loving signals by the ones most concerned, though they knew not 'twas a solemn parting for the ship that never returned. Said a feeble lass whose anxious mother eyes crossed the wide, wide seas, for they say perchance in a foreign climate there is health and strength for me. 'Twas a gleam of hope in this maze of danger and report, for her youngest yearned, yet she sent him forth with a smile of blessing for the ship that never returned. Said a gallant seaman as he kissed his weeping wife, only one more back of this golden treasure, and to last a soul through life. And I'll spend my days in my cozy cottage and enjoy the rest I've heard. But alas, poor man, for he sailed commander of the ship that never returned. Did she never return? She never returned. Her fate is yet unlearned. Though for years and years there were fond ones watching, yet the ship she never returned.
Finally, Orlando dropped her pen and stretched her arms.
Done!
Done. It's done.
The poem wanted to be read.
Human beings had become necessary.
Yes.
The first stroke of midnight sounded. The cold breeze of the present brushed her face with its little breath of fear.
Shelmerdine! Here I am.
They came, as they always did, in moments of dead calm.
And the wave rippled. The spotted leaves fell slowly, and nothing moved between sea and sky.
Then they came.
Orlando.
Shelberdine!
And the 12th stroke of midnight sounded. It was in fact the present moment.
Orlando's mind began to toss like the sea. I can begin to live again. The little boat is climbing the white arch of 1,000 deaths.